We have a logo for this season, so I invite us to take a look at it and consider the question, how does a weary world rejoice? The creators of this series wrote this about the logo: two people, one radiating joy and the other wading into weariness, hold the world together. As Advent begins, we start by acknowledging the weariness. We acknowledge grief. We acknowledge rage. We acknowledge hopelessness. It's all a lot. It comes from loss, from struggle, from uncertainty, from reading the newspaper, watching the news, from engaging with other humans. It comes from so many places, and we acknowledge and hold all of our weariness, and we affirm that we are made for joy. Today we've been meeting Zachariah, and we got a glimpse of Elizabeth. Stay tuned, we get more on her next week. But we hear that Zachariah is startled. He is overcome with fear. He is filled with doubt. These emotions can certainly cause weariness. And we also meet Gabriel. Note that when Gabriel appears on the scene, we hear, "Be not afraid." Now, I gotta say, whenever anybody tells you to not be afraid, it usually kicks up our fear a notch or two, right? And then the angel says, "I bring you good news." Well, the angel brings news. Good? Well, that might be up for debate. In thinking about this story this week, though, I usually thought, well, Zachariah doubted that he and Elizabeth would have a kid, and because of that doubt, the angel makes him mute or silent. But what if instead of punishment, this was an invitation? An invitation to engage differently. An invitation to pay attention differently. Because what happens when we stop talking? We listen better. We can breathe deeper. We can pay attention better to what is happening around us. So I wonder if we were to spend some time in quiet this season, what might happen? We might notice that weariness that we're too busy to actually pay attention to. And we might notice glimmers of joy. In an article by Natalie Gale from October this year, she talks about moments that inspire a flicker of joy are called glimmers. They're the opposite of triggers, and glimmers are small moments, like really small moments. So noticing a few notes of a bird song, or the way a shadow moves across a room, or that first sip of your favorite beverage, we notice these glimmers when we pay attention. Now, these glimmers don't erase our weariness. But as Deb Dana said, glimmers are when we experience a brief moment of happiness that allows our nervous system to feel safe and calm. So something happens in our bodies when we notice. So perhaps when quiet, Zachariah noticed glimmers of joy, and he began to feel safe and calm as Elizabeth carried John, as he went about his work as a priest, as he went about life in Jerusalem. We too are invited this season to notice. It's good and important to notice the whole range of human emotions that we have. And as we take a note from Zachariah, to carve out a little time for silence. Now, hopefully we don't need an angel to scare us half to death and make us not able to talk. If you do have that, let me know, because I'd really like to hear about it. Anyway, but we can do it on our own. Just a few moments a day. Carving out some time for quiet so that we can notice. We can be on the lookout for those glimmers around us. Glimmers of joy that exist in the midst of weariness. May it be so. Amen.